Because of the lack of news today, we have to go through Jeff's portfolio dive. Alright, so today we have to talk about Google, Alphabet, the parent company, aka Alphabet. The revenue model for Google or Alphabet is very, very simple: add revenue, add revenue, add revenue. Advertising is basically the biggest play for Google. Of course, Google does not only offer advertising alone, they also actually go into your cloud software, your YouTube, hardware such as your products in your VR, AR, alongside with your Google Home and even phones as well. But one big reason why I think that Google is also currently in this playlist at the moment is because, well, first of all, I mean, like, Google is clearly in my portfolio, which is why. And second thing is because I don't think Google actually have any strong competitor, to the point where the competitors are like miles away. Okay, Google is so much ahead that it doesn't even matter. If I'm not mistaken, right now Google's competitor is like Yahoo, Bing, Baidu, and so on and so forth. And for all of them, I don't see them actually having a very, very strong edge against Google. Okay, because the fact that if we're actually comparing search engine to search engine, Google is going to win out of 100 times about 98 times. Okay, no one's gonna, out of the 100 people, no one's gonna say, all right, you know what, I'm gonna go and Bing this information, I'm gonna go and Yahoo this information. You probably will have the odd few people who actually do so, but chances are people are gonna be using Google. Okay, but however, if we're actually comparing them in the ads revenue world, okay, Google actually play on a comparatively similar stable ground, alongside with your meta platforms, Twitter, Snapchat, and all the other social media platforms out there as well. Because we're talking about advertising play. Okay, when you're on TikTok, when you're on Instagram, when you're on Twitter, when you're on Snapchat, you see a lot of these ads. All these are so-called advertising plays via ad revenue. Okay, alongside with YouTube, of course, but of course YouTube is kind of Google. Okay, so earlier this year I thought that Google in general, or advertising place in general, I always thought that in this year we are probably gonna see a huge recovery for advertising, simply because I thought that when we are recovering, we're in the recovering phase after the pandemic. I thought that companies would actually put in more money to the advertising aspect, for them to actually do more advertising coming into the market. But I think clearly, clearly I was wrong, or at least I'm wrong till I'm right. Okay, I advertisement in general right now is currently not doing the best. There, and of course this is because of your marketing teams actually pinching on marketing costs at the moment. Companies are shrinking, and of course budgets are at the same time are also doing the same. But before that, I think that we should actually get into the pricing. I think that a lot of people actually enjoy listening to the pricing aspect of my portfolio dive. But before I actually get to pricing, just an advertisement for this, which is Webull. Okay, if you are not using Webull, you're from Singapore, okay, sign up using my link down below. Okay, all you have to do, just deposit $2,000 into Webull. Just do one buy trade of any stock, any ETF, and one option. After that, just wait 30 calendar days, and you're gonna get 150 US dollars straight into your account. And you can withdraw it afterwards if you really want to do so. But honestly speaking, if you do want to get into the market, I think that Webull is a very, very good way for you to get into the market. Love Webull. I'm using it right here. I'm using it right here every single day. Love Webull. And if you want to get a free 150 US dollar, down below, link. All right, now let's get back to it. Which is my current buying price for Google at the moment is currently at $98, which honestly speaking, pretty frustrating, because right now Google is doing about like $97.70. My buying price spread out across two different portfolios, two different platforms. At the moment, it's about $98.80 or so. So, the worst part is because I've been buying on multiple dips, but at the same time, I'm still about like plus or minus about 5% of the current price. But then again, of course, I do want to state that of course, in the long term wise, I don't see Google actually being a bad stock or anything. Okay, Alphabet would be a very, very good stock. But which is why I don't think that I should go short term on this when I actually explain my portfolio dive. Price target, okay, I think price target is going to be important. So personally, a little bit sad to say, okay, honestly, for myself, especially for me talking about how good Google is and such, for me to actually give such a bad price target. I do think that currently the price target for Google is actually going to be dropping to about $80 to about low 90s. I don't think it's even worth $95 at the moment. It's true that the market thinks that Google is worth $97. But I think in the next 5 to 8 months, I do see Google actually dropping maybe about 85 to low 90s or so. But you know, so clearly, I think right now we're not exactly at the bottom at the moment. I do see a little bit more capitulation happening. And of course, you know, before you guys even ask, like, you know, oh, you know, then if you think that it's going to drop so much, then why not just sell it and then just buy in later on and such? The answer is easy. You know, I'm not a god. I'm not going to be predicting to that level of accuracy. I rather so-called lose this so-called like 10% or 20%, then the possibility of a rally just coming out and then me actually missing the rally. I don't think I really want to do so. I'm not sure what the next rally have to offer, and that's kind of how the market is at the moment. You kind of can't really predict this sort of things. I'm not exactly at the level where I can be selling calls on my Google either. I'm a little bit under 100 shares. So there is a possibility for me to actually buy in on the next possible dip, and then I can start doing some selling of calls for Google. But of course, that's going to be hard because they are in two different portfolios. But I'll try to figure that out. All right, but anyway, I do see advertising companies going through a little bit more rough bits before actually see the rainbow at the end of the road. And of course, you know, as companies starts to restructure, advertising, I think, wouldn't exactly be the first thing that they have in mind. I don't think companies in general, after they do a sort of restructuring, after they do the layoffs, they're going to be like, oh, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to put more money into marketing. I don't think that's going to be how it actually works. Maybe towards sales, most likely. They do want to bring up more sales before they actually put more money into marketing. Of course, I think that there's a gray line between marketing and sales. But I do think that sales brings in direct money, whereas marketing just helps with the brand. So yeah, you know, of course, I do think that a slowdown is going to be happening in the advertising place in general. It's not just going to be for Google. It's going to be for all your different social media platforms, your Meta, your Twitter, your TikTok, your Snapchat, your Pinterest, whatever it is. All those advertising plays all going to be slowing down. And I think that if this slowdown actually continues in all these advertising plays, I think that there would also be a slow takeoff in the advertising space as well, which is like, you know, with a huge slowdown, okay, we're going to reach a lull period where not a lot of people are going to be pumping in a lot of money into marketing costs. And the takeoff afterwards is not going to be immediately like this. It's going to be like this, where it just kind of slowly go upwards. And yeah, I think that's kind of like how I'm actually thinking about it. But yeah, nevertheless, I do want to say this very, very clearly, which is I do think that Alphabet, Google is a very, very good company. It's a golden stock in my eyes. Like, honestly speaking, I don't see people suddenly just telling me that, oh, you know, I don't like Google. I don't think Google is gonna work out. I don't think I'm gonna use Google in my life. Not gonna happen. Okay, not gonna happen. If you're using a computer, you're using Google Chrome. Let's be honest. Okay, people who are watching this right now, if you're not on Safari or Google Chrome, you're lying. Okay, so Google is definitely going to be a good stock in the future. Of course, if you're saying 20, 30 years in the future, I'm not sure. Maybe a competitor would outperform what Google have done. But as of now, I do think that Google is definitely the best search engine out there. And in terms of an advertising play, Google is not that bad as well. Because after all, if you're watching this video right now, you're on YouTube. So that's where it is. Anyway, that's all I have for this video. Thank you so much for watching. And I'll see you guys in the next one.